time now. Hey, look at that. We're going to do this now, aren't we?
It's 2 o'clock.
Hey, it's us. And
Yay.
it's Sunday at 2 o'clock, and we are live.
Yeah, after a couple weeks off.
And we're glad to be here. So, here we are. What does this button do? It's episode number 264, and it's Road Trips. It's our favorite tips for traveling apps. And, yeah, it's an educational show about smartphones and technology with us geeks on tour. Remember, if you are on YouTube, and that's probably where you should be, you can click on that subscribe button, click the like, do all that stuff. And if you're on Facebook, well, good luck with that. Quick tip. You have a quick tip.
Yeah, and most people, I think, already know this, but in case you don't, it's really useful to know how to put all your special apps into one folder. So, video 673.
673.
Especially
Hi, this is Chris Cool with Geeks on Tour, and I have a tip for you about putting special apps into special folders. I have a lot of travel apps, and I wonder if your screens look anything like mine. I have travel apps on the first screen and on the second screen and on the third screen, and I never remember their names. I want to put them all in one place, and that's called a folder. And I'm going to show you how, both on an iPhone and on an Android. So here's my iPhone, and notice I have 4 apps on this home screen that are travel apps. All I have to do is long press on one of them. If I long press on RVParky, and then I keep holding down, everything starts to wiggle. And I can just drag it on top of the next one. That has created a folder. Now that everything is still wiggling, I can just drag the next app into that same folder. And this one. It can be a little tricky. And notice it already called the folder travel based on the items I put in it. Now there's some on the next screen though. This one, Togo RV. I hold down on it and then bump up against the edge. Like I say, it can be a little tricky, but it works. I also have a travel app on my very last screen, this one called iOverlander. Long press, and you can also just tap on Edit Home Screen. But no, if you keep touching on the app, it will start wiggling all on its own. Okay, so now it's wiggling, and I can drag that, bump up against the left screen until I'm all the way back to the beginning, and then drop it in that folder. There we go. And when you're done, you press the home button. Now I have all of my travel apps, or at least some of them. I have more than that, but that'll do. Now on an Android, it works pretty much the same way. This is my Samsung Note 9, and on this screen, there's the iOverlander, there is Roadtrippers. So I will touch and hold, and then just drag. You don't have, they don't wiggle on the Android. You just touch and hold and then drag them up. This one is asking me for a folder name, so I will type travel. Done. Back out to the main screen. Now RVParky needs to be dragged into that folder. There. You just kind of have to touch the edge. Now I think, oh, there's another one. All stays. Touch and hold. Drag to just touch the edge of the folder and let go. And there's a couple more on this screen. Touch and hold. Drag over. Touch the edge of the folder. And the last one, where am I? Love that one. Come on. When that gets too tricky to drag an item into the folder, Android gives us another way. You can open the folder and you can tap plus, and that is looking at your list of all apps alphabetically. So where am I? I can tap the W and I will see where am I, and done. You could also have selected several in there and now it's added. But realize that that's added it again to the home screen. So here is the original. I can long press on that and remove from home. Now you can also move the whole folder. I mean, if I decide that I want to travel on my last screen, I can touch and hold and drag the whole folder over. And that's how you put all your special apps together in one special place called a folder.
Oh, cool. Nice video. Well, hi, everyone. We're Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your Android device or the cloud? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads. We're not wearing them today. And we are geeks who teach, and we think that the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this show. We pick a different topic, and we try not to forget the beginners out there. All of our content is collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
Yeah, so Chris, where are we now?
Oh, we're special. We are on the road, so that thus we are going to be showing you exactly our plan and how we made our plan, and that's it on the left there. The photo is where we exactly are right now. So we are coming to you from Studio V.
Our van camper.
Our van, yeah, from the back, and we are at a lovely place called Big Mill Wow, I always get tongue.
Bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast. Now, we are making a photo album just like we do with all of our travels. If you want to follow along with our photo album, there's the QR code there. You can scan, and if you use Google Photos, you can click join, and then whenever we add new pictures, you will see them, because we're going to be gone for about 6 weeks total. We've been out for 1 week or 10 days so far, and we are headed up to New Jersey for your high school reunion. And then we're leaving from there to go over to London for my Google Product Experts Summit. So it's an interesting trip plan that we are working on here, and we're going to show it to you. Here's a little bit more about Big Mill. So you can look it up at bigmill.com. It's our friend Chloe who is the owner here. It is her family farm, 100-year-old family farm.
101.
And she keeps it just absolutely beautiful, and she makes sure that all her guests have good internet. And how's she doing that now, Jim?
Well, that's pretty cool. I got to climb on the roof and install, well, I didn't install the whole thing, but I set up one of these Starlink satellite systems, and we had to run the cable from the dish down and into where she has all her other equipment. So we had the Starlink Wi-Fi. She already has cable for the internet here, but she wanted something that is redundant, a backup. So that's what the Starlink is for. It'll be good when her cable goes out. It's already good, and we hooked it up so she has multiple access points around the property because she has different buildings. So And an Airstream.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. Not only rooms for a bed and breakfast, but you could rent the room that happens to be an Airstream.
And if you're in an RV, she does have a couple of hookups. So full hookups, 50 amp.
We love stopping here.
It is a wonderful place. I do want to say hi to a bunch of our online viewers. Where did they go? So who do we have? Liz. Oh, we can't see it there.
Yeah, it looks pretty dark.
Yeah, let me put that somewhere where we can see it. Maybe.
Liz from Ohio. Linda Barchman, hi. Says great tip for that folders. Honey Bert from Sun City, Hilton Head. Hey, did you see us wave as we went by? Sorry, we didn't have time to stop. Hetty Bell, hello from Scotland, UK. Hey.
I'm having a hard time finding this thing.
Well, realize, as we say, we are in Studio V. He doesn't have all his normal stuff in front of him.
There, I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
I've been playing too, so it's difficult.
I think he's doing it pretty good here. Looks good.
Okay.
And thank you to our premium members. Our premium members is what make our work possible. If you've learned something from us, we'd appreciate if you become a premium member. It's just $68 for 1 year, or $58 on a repeating basis. Backstage Pass. We will have a Backstage Pass, a Zoom meeting after the show is over. And I didn't know when to stop in putting material into this show, so I have a feeling there's going to be some stuff that I can't get to during the show. We will get to it in the Backstage Pass then. For that is a perk of membership. If you are a member, you have the link to the Backstage Pass. So here, we're getting into travel planning. If you're going to pick and learn a travel planning app, the first thing to know is your travel planning style. You need to match your style with the app. And people are all very different when it comes to their travel planning. I put it on this scale from 1 to 5. If you're a 1, I call it a spontaneous wanderer, and it means basically all you know is you're headed west. You'll make it up as you go along. If you're in the middle, that's me, then you do have people to see and things to do. You have major stops you want to be mapped and scheduled. And if you're a 5, I call you a major planner, and you want reservations for every night and every turn is mapped out on your GPS. Different apps for different folks there. So here is where, and there's lots more apps. These are just the ones that I know of. If you're just using Google Maps, it doesn't have any trip planning features. I mean, it can navigate from here to there, and you can have up to 10 stops, but it doesn't tell you how far between any 2 stops. It has nothing to do with dates, so I do not call that a travel planner at all. You can research and you can navigate with Google Maps, but not plan. Same goes for any GPS. Actually, some of the dashboard GPSs do have a way that you can put in your whole plan. I'm not sure if they have dates. RVParky is my choice because it's the simplest one that I have found. Now, it has plenty of features that I just don't even use, but it's really simple to just plan my stops and get the information that I want. Other ones, Roadtrippers, I will show you that. RV Trip Wizard is probably the most complete. So if you're a number 5 and you're an RVer, you likely want RV Trip Wizard. I know people who swear by it. I just don't. RVParky is my first choice. Roadtrippers is my second. And then there's this weird one called furcot.com. I think it was originally created by motorcycle travelers. So if you're a motorcyclist, check it out. It is very, very full featured and a little bit complex. All right. So if you're looking at any of these, RVParky is $20 a year. That's pretty cheap. Roadtrippers is, and RVParky I think is free for up to 3 stops or something like that. But Roadtrippers is free for up to 7 stops. You want more than that. So it's part of this suite of apps called Road Pass Pro. Then RV Trip Wizard is part of the RV Life suite. Furcot is free. There are some special features you might want to pay the $15 a year for. And I just found out about this one called Wanderlog. I haven't used it at all, but it looks kind of interesting. So trip planning stages. We've done this webinar, many times where we've looked at different parts of it. Research. Number one, you need to research. You need to dream. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? What are your hopes and dreams? When you actually get ready to take a trip, you need to plan where you're going when you'll get there. And then if you're on a road trip, you need to navigate. What we're talking about today is the plan. Where are we going? When will we get there? I might mention something about researching and navigating, but that's the main thing. I use RVParky. And if you are on our Geeks on Tour mailing list, you learned about RVParky in our mailing last week. And then today I want to I'm going to demo exactly how we planned this trip. I love that you have 3 different views. You can see your plan on a map. You can see your stops on a list with details. Notice that in between each stop it says how many hours and how many miles. And then at each stop it gives you the dates. But you can also look at your trip in a calendar view. Ooh.
Oh, you like that?
I find that very exciting, yes. So I want to demo RVParky. I'm going to start a brand new trip. I'm going to add some stops manually, and I also want to show you how it can do it automatically. You can put in the number of miles you want to go each day, and it'll just automatically plot your trip. I'm going to show you how we find places to stay, or not. You don't have to. You can specify the number of nights. You can view the calendar. You can lock a stop to a date. So, for example, we're driving up to New Jersey, but then we're flying over to London. Well, we have a specific date that we need to be at the airport. So on our plan, I locked that in. I'm going to show you some of it on a computer, some of it on a phone, and if anybody is still in the I need a printout, you can do that too. And I like how easy it is to change a plan. Okay, so I'm going to go using the computer first. I'm going to go to RVParky. And by the way, you don't have to be on an RV trip to use this for your basic plan. You say we used it for the time we're going to be in London as well. And I'm going to go to my dashboard. I am already logged in. Here's another thing I like about RVParky. No password. So if it's not already logged into your account, you give it your email, and then it sends you a link to your email. Where's that coming from? It sends you a link to your email, and you just use that. So it skips right to the 2-factor. No password. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to go to my dashboard, and I am going to start a new trip.
Off. And we're glad to be here. So,
and
here
trip.
we are. What does this button do? It's episode
like
number 200
us running somewhere in the background.
And it's Road Trips. It's our favorite.
But I can mute it. It's okay.
Okay, good. So, new trip. And we started in Fort Lauderdale. Florida. And we left on September 22. Oops, this is the tip. Okay, so I'm doing
You need to title it.
demo, New Jersey and London. and start city. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And $3, it will keep track of your costs, but I don't bother. So, we have started. Here is a map, here is the list. I add a stop. We knew that we were first going to go to Daytona Beach. And it's that easy. That's all I have to do is just put a city, but I do want to find a place to stay. So I click on the city, find a place to stay, and all sorts of campgrounds and even Cracker Barrels and Walmarts are listed. And we stayed at the International RV Park. So I add to trip for this stop. All right. Next stop, we went to a friend,
Of the next
another
one,
friend who
that has
allows us to
created a
park in
folder.
her yard.
Now,
But
and
all I
now
have
that
to
everything
do
is still wiggling, I can just drag the next app into
is
that
put
same
Melrose,
folder.
Florida.
And this one.
I see where it is. Sorry. Okay. So Melrose, Florida. That's all I have to do. We know where she lives. We know how to get there. I do need to put in number of nights. So in Daytona, we stayed there for 1 night. In Melrose, we stayed there for 2 nights. Next up is Charleston.
Spelling's important.
Charleston, South Carolina. And here I do need a place to stay. So notice if you know where you're staying, you just put down the cities. You know, it'll give you the route and count the nights. But I wanted to stay at James Island County Park and add to trip for this stop. And we stayed there 2 nights. Now for this Melrose one, in case I forget that Melrose is where my friend lives, I can add a note. Okay. And now one more stop, and this is a neat feature too. You can, some of these trip planners only allow you to put in stops of things that are in their database, of campgrounds or stops that are in their database. We wanted to come to Big Mill. Well, it can search for Big Mill, B and B. I think that's all I needed to put in. Yeah, and it has the address. No problem. 2 nights and done. At any time, I can look at the calendar has been building as we go. The map has been building as we go. It shows all the different points of interest. I can clear those if it's bothering me, so I can see the route. And that's my plan. Now, we have lots more on the plan. I've already done it. Let's go look at the one that I've already done. So that was just to show you how easy it is. But it can be even easier. Let's say that, you know, New Jersey, and start date, this is the same trip, but I'm going to let it do it all automatically. I've already put in the settings that we don't travel more than 300 miles a day. So I can say okay and add the stop to Ship Bottom, New Jersey. And then notice it has this button called Auto Split. And it will, with Auto Split, will split up the driving at 300-mile intervals, because that's what I have written in the settings. Do it. Boom. Just like that, we have our night stops. Now, there's no place to park yet. I would have to click on each and find a place to stay, or not. We tend to wing it. We tend to look at where we're going about noon and find a place and call and see if we can stay there. So that's a pretty cool feature. Okay, back to my real trip, and I just want to show you that, notice I even have it going over to England. Now, when you go to that stop, it said it can't find a route to drive there.
I wonder why.
But it does it anyway. It plots it.
We're waiting for the tunnel.
It plots it on the map, and it gives me the dates. So London is stop 11. Ah, what's this red here? Here is where I said we have to be at the Newark, New Jersey airport on October 15. And it says that something up here is not working out. So, between here and New Jersey, we had planned to go to Monticello. I don't think we're going to have time for that now, since we stayed too long. But that's what this is about. When I look at the Newark airport, see that little lock there? So that means instead of flexible, I've said locked. So it's locked on October 15. Locked. Yeah. 10, 15. 10, 15. So that's how that happens. All right, now I want to show you on the phone. So here is, get that. Here's my travel folder. Look at all these. I have a lot of travel apps. There's my RVParky. And here is the trip that we were just looking at. Why did it get so pink?
Don't know.
Wow. It's that the screen is not pink, it is white. I don't know what.
It might just be this screen. Oh, something just happened.
There we go. Well, I brightened it up a little
Oh,
bit.
good.
So here's the only difference on the phone is that since it's a smaller screen, I have to choose between looking at the trip list or looking at the map. So there's the map, there's the trip list. I can still tap on a date and see the calendar. So everything is there. And I can go through and I can say, well, it looks like we're not going to be able to do this one. Remove stop. And we're not going to be able to do this one. Remove stop. All right. Now that red marker has gone away. And when we're ready to leave here, we can just tap on the next stop and tap navigate. We're ready to go. We can use whatever. This is on the Android. On the Apple, it goes straight to Apple Maps. On the Android, it gives you the choice of whatever maps you have. So I go to Google Maps. And now we're navigating. So I think that was everything I wanted to show.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we stop now?
Any questions?
Let's take a look. Let's see. We have a bunch of people in here. Hello, 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 hello. And have apps on the home screen.
Okay.
Let's see. So now how do I
How do
get
I get
them moved together?
That's where you just drag one on top of the other. It can, as I said, it can be a little tricky, but drag one on top of the other, and a folder is created.
Okay, I think she figured it out.
Okay, good.
Let's see. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so sorry to have missed us. We passed by Honey. Cleveland, Ohio. Joe, Central Coast. Kathleen, it's raining on and off in New York City. I'm glad you didn't get flooded out. A lot of people did. That was bad. Linda, she did figure it out.
Okay.
Good, beautiful day in Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. We're not too far away where we are right now. And yeah, well, Jolin's telling us that we have sound problems.
Oh.
Yeah, and
I got it. Sorry.
it's her fault. I like when that happens. Thanks for the tip. Use RVParky for other trips. Taking me out of Hot Springs. Oh boy. I wish I was going to Hot Springs. How do I find out what tab is playing audio in Chrome? In Chrome's latest release, the browser will automatically add a small speaker icon to every tab that's playing an audio. Well, cool. And Tech for Senior was late for his favorite show. Ron. Well, you can watch whatever you missed. We're up to date, I think, and Huey is also here. We're not stepping on his toes on his show
We're
this
not the
week.
same day.
All right.
So that was an overview of how to plan a trip using RVParky. And there's several apps. They're all similar. But for me, RVParky is the most straightforward. It's the most straightforward. And I love that map. So, for example, if Chloe, our friend here, says, well, when are you going to be back through? All I have to do is look at the calendar, and I can see that October 28th is when it looks like our plan has us coming back to Big Mill. Easily done. All right. Next, as I say, there's lots of other apps, and now there's a whole new genre of trip planning tools with AI.
We're going to be here for a while, right?
I wrote about this, so yeah, I'm not going to tell you too much. I just want to show you how you can find what I wrote about it. If you go to geeksontour.com and click on search up at the top and type in artificial intelligence and search, can artificial intelligence like ChatGPT plan your next trip? And it's pretty amazing what it can do. I write about it here. All I did was go to ChatGPT and said, please plan a 2-week trip to see the fall colors in New England and the Maritimes. And it says day 1 to 2, Boston, day 3, Salem. Then I said, well, now wait a minute. That's not good enough. So this is a chat. You get to chat with it. And I said, please suggest campgrounds for each night. So it did. And then later on, I said, I only want to travel 250 miles a day. Please redo the plan accordingly. And it does. Now, it can't plot on a map, so that's still up to you. This is... Yet. Well, that's the next point, is this article was written back in April. I mean, less than 6 months ago, and it was a brand new idea. As far as I knew, it was a brand new idea to use artificial intelligence to plan a trip. But now, if you Google for AI for trip planning, Wonder Plan, best AI trip planner. Is there an AI? Top 7 AI trip planner tools. And then in the RV community, I know they're touting something called Genie, Adventure Genie. And it does plot on a map and give you the night stays and all that stuff. The world is changing. The world is changing. I haven't used any of these. Like I say, I like RVParky. But they exist. These are those new, the RV community apps are consolidating into these families, these suites. So Roadtrippers, my number 2 favorite planning app, is part of Road Pass. And RV Trip Wizard, the one that so many RVers I know swear by, is part of RV Life. And if you pay the fee for these suites, you get all sorts of stuff with them, including RV aware GPS navigation. But we don't do enough of it anymore, though I don't do that. I do still use Roadtrippers once in a while, though, and I want to show you why. Roadtrippers is the best one for finding fun places to go and see. And you can find some of those without even an account. So you don't have to have the premium service just to use Roadtrippers to find cool spots. Let me show you what I mean. Now, I do have a Roadtrippers account. So to show you this, I'm going to go to an incognito window to make sure that I am not logged in with my account. And I go to Roadtrippers. Now, it says, don't you want to plan a start point and an end point? And if so, you need to have an account for that. But you don't have to. You can just click on Trip Planner, and that takes you to the map. And now, here is the cool thing about Roadtrippers. Without doing a thing, it will, in a minute, start surfacing the most popular fun things to do in an area. See how those just popped up? Colonial Williamsburg, New River Gorge Bridge, Falling Water.
Been there.
Yeah. And as you zoom in, more come into play. So, plus you can then search. 2 things that I really like to search for is, far out, what do they call them? Way out things, far out stuff. And you find that under sites and attractions. If I click on sites and attractions, more things start to appear. Plus, each of the ones that appear in the map now have a little card over here on the left. This is just so nice for finding things. I can even filter and view all under types of places, filming locations. I just think that's cool.
Yeah, I do too. So Joseph has said, what are the best sites for activities while traveling?
I think this is it. And then offbeat attractions. There we go. That's what I like.
Offbeat attractions.
Offbeat attractions and filming locations. Now you can look at any of these. I mean, if historic sites or landmarks is what you want to see, go ahead. I'm going to just look at the filming locations and offbeat attractions just for this area. The area of the map that I had showing when I asked that question.
So you pretty much need to be connected to the internet while you're doing all of this because it's all web-based.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Yeah. Yeah, you definitely need an internet connection for that. It is available on the phone. I mean, this app is on the phone, but obviously the bigger screen is easier to see things. Oh, look at here. Put it back big again. The Bates Motel and Haunted Hayride.
All right.
See, now doesn't that look fun?
Norman.
And yeah, and in Philadelphia, we have lots of movies. Rocky. So it says, here's the gym where they filmed Rocky's gym scenes at. And you can plan trips here. You can plan the stops and the days and all that kind of stuff, just like in RVParky. but it's a little bit more full-featured, a little bit more complex. I use it just for finding fun places. Okay, so that's Roadtrippers. RV Trip Wizard, just another. I don't use it, but I do have an account so that I can play with it once in a while. It even has a navigation that will handle low clearances for RVers. And I know a lot of RVers that just swear by RV Trip Wizard. It's very complete. More than I need. Okay. Howard, I'm not doing too bad. Yeah. So then we just have kind of a hodgepodge of other tech tips. One thing, if you're not a full-time RV, if you're just out on a trip and maybe you'd like to see what's going on at home, tell them what you've done, Jim.
Okay, you can get cameras for your home connected to your Wi-Fi, and you can access them from anywhere. So I have one in our living room pointed out there, and I can bring that up here. There you go. This is our living room, and I will put it on there. You can see our living room right now. We had to bring the kayaks inside and put them on the racks inside so they don't blow away in case, just in case, we get a hurricane or some bad weather. My son lives nearby, so he can go over and close the rest of the shutters. I've shuttered parts of the house there already.
And how much did any of that?
I think the camera was less than $100, and it just needs to be set up with the app, and you can view it using your smart home app.
So just like, and we can also control the air conditioning from here.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that we're not using too much electricity.
Home automation has made this travel a lot more stress-free. You can check things out. I can also check my mail. I get a notification every day of what's going to be in the mailbox.
Our paper mail.
Paper mail for our mailbox. And if I need, I can ask Devin to go over and bring the mail in. I'm going to do that today.
Okay. The next thing was, in preparing for this show, I just asked Jim, okay, so if somebody asked you, what's the most important thing to have if you're going to travel? What's the most important tool?
Well, you need your phone. A smartphone, you have my smartphone right there. It is the most useful tool you'll ever, because it does so much. It's a multi-purpose tool. It's a Swiss Army knife for all the things that you need to get done. So, and you need a good internet connection for that phone. So a good cellular connection, I use Google Fi, but we also have a Verizon connection on our stuff. So it works well.
But when you say good phone,
I say
what does
about
that mean?
$400, maybe a little bit more.
Ours are closer to 1,000.
Well, ours are top of the line, but
Yeah.
you don't need that. You need something that is good, because when you spend that much money on a phone, you're going to get a good camera. It's going to have enough memory for all of the things that you need to do, and your cellular and your other radios are going to be better in those newer and more expensive devices, so everything's going to work better. And if you're going to hotspot your cellular signal, you're going to want a good connection, and the radios in these better phones will do it. So all around, just a good phone.
I once got a really cheap phone just to see what the difference was. I mean, I'm talking an $89 phone, and I could navigate with it, but it told me to turn when I was already past the place I was supposed to turn.
It wasn't updating.
Yeah,
quickly
it
enough.
wasn't powerful enough to do the work. So yes, you do need to have a good phone.
Okay.
All right, Google Maps,
Gotta
Google
have it.
Maps, Google My Maps, GPS for RVers. We'll touch on some of these, and anything we don't get to, those of you who are members and joining us in the Backstage Pass, we'll deal with some of these things there. Okay. You want to do a couple questions?
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Joseph wants to know, is Roadtrippers international?
Yes and no, but they are starting to. When we went to New Zealand, they had New Zealand, and I thought, oh, they are international. But then the next place we went, it wasn't on there. So check it out.
Some things are and some things are not.
They're working on it, but no. Generally, it's North America.
Okay, so Debbie says you can get a temperature power monitor for your RV, and Marcel or Zazzle, they'll alert you if the power goes off or if the temperature is too hot, and that is a big thing for RVers because with pets because they have to be comfortable. You don't want to be cooking your animals too much. And let's see, so when you leave your pet, you know they're not overheating. Absolutely. The camera on my Pixel 7 Pro is so good. She's selling her Nikon DSLR. It's a lot lighter too, isn't it? So, agreed. We have SLRs that we don't travel with. I did repurpose one of those for a webcam for the home studio. I'm not hauling it around. I have a nice little camera here and it works great. Thanks.
Okay, I think we can play this one. So I said just a couple mentions about when you're on the road and navigating. I think this is an important one. If you use Google Maps to navigate like we do, then there might be times when you want to know, you want to see up ahead how far to the next rest area, how far to the next gas station, how far to the next restaurant, and you can do that if you know how. Video 492.
Well, Debbie says that's Waggle, not Zazzle. Okay, let's see if I can find that.
So Google Maps is navigating along our route. I can pinch the screen and see a complete route. I can tap the north arrow and change the direction so I can see more about where we are. But right now I want to know where the next rest area is. I can tap the search, the magnifying glass, and then there's no option specifically for rest area, so I can just tap search again and type rest area. Or I just type rest and it says rest stop. Okay. And it will find the rest stops that are along my route. That looks good. Kentucky State Whitehaven Rest Area. I tap it and I can tap add stop, or if I just wait, it will be added. And it is now reporting to me the length of time and the miles to that next stop. Once we stop there, it will continue on our original navigation route.
There was no end to it.
Okay, and then here, but something that you really might not realize. So first of all, you do have to be navigating. I put my phone navigating somewhere. You tap the search button, and I can search for gas stations, and it's going to show me gas stations along my route. And look at that, it shows the prices also. Now only for regular. So if you're diesel, you got to use another app like Gas Buddy. But that's pretty handy.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
While you're navigating, finding stuff
It's
along
really handy
your
when you
route.
do have a navigator sitting beside you to do all that for you.
Next little tip is, if you use Google Maps to navigate, you need an internet connection. If you know that you're not going to have an internet connection, you can download offline maps, and it's very easy. So on your phone, you open Google Maps, you tap the account button, and you'll see an option called offline maps. You select the map you want, click download. Or if you want all offline maps, there's another app called maps.me that works pretty well. But I do want to show you this. So we're going to be in London, as I say, and yes, we should have good internet because we have Google Fi and it works internationally. But let's say we didn't. So I would go over to London. I tap the account button, that's my little face or your initial in the upper right hand corner, and there is offline maps. Now, I've done this before. I have an offline map for Blue Ridge Parkway because we were on that last year, and there are places where there's no internet. But you just tap select your own map, and notice it tells you about how much. And if I get all of that, I mean all of the southeast part of England, it's going to take a gigabyte and 120 megabytes. So no, I will zoom in and say I just want London proper, and that will take me 220 megabytes on my phone. I tap download. Now when I'm there, even if I have no internet connection, I will be able to look at Google Maps and find hotels, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Okay. Google My Maps. Google My Maps is for making your own map, but not for trip planning. It doesn't have any dates or nights or anything like that. And I just want to show you. So what's a good use for that? A good use for it is remembering your trips. And we make one every year for our travels that I can just see. There we did this pretty much the same thing last year as we're doing this year. So I have a map for each year, and these are done with Google My Maps. Or next year, we're going on a cruise to Hawaii, and I'm using Google My Maps to collect information about the trip. You know, once again, not an itinerary, but a list of places. And the interesting thing about Google My Maps is you can put groups of places on what's called layers. So if I uncheck these layers, then I am just looking at the ports of call. So I can easily see what the ports of call for our trip are. Then if I want to see the stops that we have already booked for our group, and you can still be a part of our group if you want, just go to geeksontour.com/Hawaii for the details. These are the things that we have booked for our group, etc. So that's Google My Maps, and we've done a lot of teaching on that. If you're a Geeks on Tour premium member, there's a learning guide that will step you through all how to use Google My Maps. And I'm just about done. I might skip a couple of things and leave. Oh, you have to have, we've mentioned internet connections a lot. And you can use your phone as a hotspot. We do that a lot. If you need to know anything about mobile internet, these are the folks to look at. mobileinternetinfo.com. They really keep up and know their stuff.
I love this one. Navigation. GPS says turn left now. Do you do it? Yeah, maybe not.
Some people say, I've actually read articles that said they ended up in a lake because Google Maps told them to turn left. Well, open your eyes, you know.
Don't turn off this computer when you turn on that computer.
Yeah,
How's that?
Yeah.
Google Maps does not know about RV height. We've run into this problem.
Yeah. Now we're not gonna show this. It's only valuable to RVers, and only RVers that have big RVs, not our little camper van like we have. We don't need to worry about this. But
you can see those videos anytime you want at
Yep.
geeksontour.com.
Video 674 tells you all about it. And if you are an RVer, we recommend that you have a dashboard unit that is RV aware, that knows about height and weight restrictions. But then the passenger should have Google Maps for a second opinion. And if you need to buy one or to learn anything about them, here's another place that we have friends, technorv.com. They're the place to go if you need to buy a dashboard GPS. And find a photo by its location. I'm definitely going to leave this one for Backstage Pass. This is a Google Photos tip that I love.
Your favorite. Okay, Gary says, I recall Chris saying she had an Android and an iPhone. Different numbers, I assume?
Nope, because I use Google Voice. So the only phone number that I give out to people is my Google Voice number, and it rings on both phones.
Linda says Google Maps needs to have an option to avoid interstates. There are ones to avoid toll roads, but not interstates. If you want to travel on the blue highways, you can always change your route.
Yeah,
But
you can just go a different way.
change
and
different routes.
It'll re-navigate.
But there's nothing automatic as far as I know.
I think it was Roadtrippers. Both Roadtrippers and RV Trip Wizard now have GPS systems as part of their group of apps. And I'm pretty sure they did have avoid interstates. So stay on the blue roads, basically, you're saying, huh?
Tanya, is there a way to have Google Maps remember the route? It directed me to a certain location so I can use that same route again. My maps.
Oh, yes. And it's a little bit tricky. I mean, there's no direct way of doing that. But once you have put a route in place, you can send a link to that route to your email. And then anytime you want, you can just click on that link and redo it. That's if you kind of planned it. Now, if it just took you away, then probably no. But do you know about your location history? What's that called? Google location history, your timeline. I can go to any day. Oh, I'm going to take a minute to do this. Maps.google.com, and is it under here or is it, no, it's under here. Timeline, and I can go to like 2 days ago and show you exactly the roads that we took. So I can say 2023 September and what, like, no, 28. And it will show me exactly what we did that day.
That's pretty cool.
That's Google Timeline. It is pretty cool. Now, how can you pick that up and save it and remember it? I'm not sure.
And that is private to you, by the way. That's not something that anybody in the world can see. Just because you can see it on your browser, it is private to you underneath your Google account.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Let's not worry too much about it. Well, did you learn something? It's time for some questions for you. If you need a plan that includes daily mileage, number of nights stay, and date of arrivals, what do we recommend?
RVParky is the one that works for me.
Your mileage may vary, so they say. To make your own custom maps, we recommend Google
My Maps.
very much.
It's a different system than plain Google Maps.
Okay. What is the name of the app with the coolest travel suggestions? A. Trip Finder, B. Roadtrippers, or C. RV Trip Wizard?
Roadtrippers. Love it.
It's pretty cool. True or false? Google Maps requires a live internet connection in order to navigate.
Yes, but you can download maps to use offline, and then you don't need a live internet connection.
True or false? Artificial intelligence apps can now help with trip planning.
Yeah,
It's
going to get
almost scary.
even more so.
All right, true or false? RVParky can automatically plan a route for how many miles a day, or X number.
Just like that.
Don't
Just
have to
like
really-
that. Just put in the number of miles you want to travel each day, put in your start and your stop, and boom, you're done.
Oh.
I think that was it.
Okay, does RV life show attractions like Roadtrippers?
No, I mean there are plenty in their database, but they don't show up like Roadtrippers does.
Okay. Let's see. Backstage Pass. It's an online meeting using Zoom right after this. Well, real close. And right now you'll get a link from geeksontour.com. Chris sent out an email earlier with that link. If you're a Geeks on Tour premium member, you would have gotten that email. Look for it. If you don't find it, you can go to geeksontour.com and go to the member login
It's
page.
3 o'clock.
You'll find it there, right?
Yep.
Okay, Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our YouTube shows?
Geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube show. They're all 264 of them are listed there.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com, the menu item is blogs and news. There's newsletters back since 2007 there.
Man, why do people pay $60 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
Well, there's all sorts of member benefits. The Backstage Pass is one of them. You get to have a meeting with us in a Zoom meeting. You can ask questions in the Q&A. Hundreds of Show Me videos, ebooks, written notes for these shows, and a never-ending list of tips. And some people pay us just to say thank you for all the training we give for free.
We appreciate you. All right, become a member at Geeks on Tour. It's $58 for a yearly recurring membership. You can get a 1-year non-recurring for $68 at geeksontour.com/join now. Sign up for our new free newsletters. Members get the books. Become a member. Subscribe to this channel. Like us on Facebook. Give us a thumbs
All
up.
that stuff.
Give us some money. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are
Geeks on Tour.
And you're not. So, it's time to quit.
See you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.